Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. It began to publicly surface around late 2011, early 2012. The limits on the size of data sets that were feasible to process in a reasonable amount of time, well, what became so gargantuan that scientists regularly encountered limitations. Large data sets in many critical areas like meteorology and genomics and connectomics and complex physics in both biological and environmental research. The limitations quickly began to affect internet search, finance, and business information. Big data is now more than a mere buzzword. It is the challenge facing both big and small enterprises and literally straddling entire organizations. Big data. What is it, and how to deal with this challenge and turn it into the next competitive advantage? Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, June 4, 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. Up to the Tech Talk, a rare insight from an industry-leading top executive. Big data from the general manager's perspective of Microsoft's Greater Southeastern District Enterprise and Partner Group, Marietta Davis. Marietta is responsible for overseeing sales, marketing, and service delivery to enterprise customers in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, and South Carolina. She is additionally responsible for Microsoft's engagement with the community on such issues as economic development and innovation. Marietta has more than 2 decades of experience in IT sales and marketing. Previously, she served as general manager for Microsoft's Heartland District, leading initiatives through Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Earlier, she was the director of headquarters sales for Microsoft's Central Region. She also worked in Microsoft's U.S. operation team as director of strategy. Before joining Microsoft in 1999, Marietta spent 5 years in sales and marketing roles at IBM. What exactly is big data, and how is Microsoft helping business begin to use it to their competitive advantage? As Tino Tech Talks, the now and beyond of what you need to know about big data with Microsoft's Greater Southeastern District General Manager, Marietta Davis. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions.
Marietta, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk today.
Thanks so much, Tina, for having me.
Well, I think we decided to talk about big data. It's such a hot topic around the world, and certainly here in Georgia and here in Atlanta. And Microsoft is right in the thick of it. So, but I don't know if everyone understands or anyone understands exactly what the term means. There's probably some different interpretations out there. But why don't you give us your best shot in terms of what is big data?
Sure. You know, you're absolutely right. There are multiple different pivots and interpretations, but, you know, when I think of big data, I think about big data refers to just the massive volumes of data that companies accumulate by communicating with business units and employees and social networks and other sources. You know, I kind of like to categorize it in the 3 V's. There's the volume, variety, and velocity. And volume is really defined by the massive volumes of data, whether it's terabytes or petabytes, that companies accumulate through these whole digital systems they use in communicating with business units and customers. There's the variety of data. You know, while some of the companies' data is neatly formatted in spreadsheets, a whole huge proportion is in the form of photos and videos and tweets and search engine queries and all kinds of varieties and formats. That's not really addressable by the organization's current, you know, management tools. And then the last piece is it's about velocity. You know, the speed of getting information is so important to so many companies, and they want information real time. So, you know, you take, for example, GPS data from smartphone users. which allows companies to really learn what search terms people are using to find destinations and where they are. Well, that's critical information, and, the speed by which you get that information really allows you to make decisions. So, it's about massive volumes of information, and then I always kind of like to pivot on the 3 Vs.
Well, that's a great explanation. I think that's probably, at least for a lot of people listening in, it provides more clarity than they've had in the past. So now that we know there's 3 Vs, and you're focusing on the volume, velocity, and the variety of information that goes out there, if you're a company here in Atlanta listening in today, what kinds of things do they need to keep in mind? What should they be doing?
Sure. Well, the first thing I like to just kind of get off the table, and that is that it seems like big data is like the latest trend, and the fact of the matter is, as information's been out there, data has been such a critical piece of what we've tried to accomplish. So the first thing is it's more than a passing phase. The benefits that big data can create is a lasting impact on business intelligence and bottom line results. So it really allows companies to differentiate themselves. More than a buzzword, it's about value and improving, and increasing efficiencies. Vast varieties of information is accumulated, and they can use that information to communicate amongst business units, employees, suppliers, and partners. So I think regardless of what the industry is, when you think about Atlanta being, a major city in the southeast, each one of, those volumes, variety, and velocities, and big data can allow these companies to differentiate themselves. You think about the Weather Channel, and it's just one example of where, big data made a big difference. They needed to increase business insight from streamlined reporting processes and improve data control. Last year they implemented a flexible, BI solution, and obviously, that they supported the Microsoft, suite of products with SQL and things. But it gives them a view into a portal and gives them a snapshot of many virtual desktops. And it saves them like 160 hours each month by generating reports, improving security controls. It boosts efficiencies and increases insight and agility. And it's all about, weather storm patterns and, preempting things.
Right. Well, if you're a small to mid-sized business and you want to get started in terms of, I think, being more efficient and effective in the big data space, what advice would you give to a company?
I think that identify the metrics that matter most to you and your business, and the types of data that you want to use to achieve your business results. Every business is different, but despite that, you leverage the things that are most important to you. And, you want to analyze the data using familiar programs, whatever you use, to make the most informed business decisions in the most efficient and quickest way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So let's talk a little bit about Microsoft. Obviously, you're a provider of a number of tools and consulting services that can help companies kind of manage through the minefield, if you will, in respect to big data. So how are you helping businesses today in that area of big data?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we have a tremendous amount of our pre- and post-op consulting team that's really committed to getting on the ground with customers and helping them utilize the tools that they have. We have, we spend, $10 billion a year in research and development, so we have the best and the brightest, taking a look at where we are today and where we need to go to in the future. And we've counseled a ton of local businesses on that. Last month, Microsoft Research hosted and invited, big data analytics in Cambridge to really have a conversation about that. So it's not just our products and it's not just our consultants, but it's also we are advocating conversations just to talk about where the industry is going.
Well, and you're premier members of TAG. We greatly appreciate that. A lot of your people will get involved with TAG activities. We also see you at a number of other community events. but I don't think people really have an understanding of the presence that you do have in the Atlanta area. So can you talk a little bit about what kind of services you do out of Atlanta? Of course, I know you can tap into any Microsoft provider around the world to provide assistance, but how about locally here?
Yeah, there's this thing that we've got called YouSpark, which is a great program, and it is really about, we believe innovation is all about the youth and sparking their interest in technology to solve the problems of today and in the future. And so, we partner with multiple organizations under that umbrella. We did a big software grant with Youth Villages, which is really an organization that's defined to help kids who are at risk in the foster care system and use technology to prepare them to move forward. We team up with Year Up and the Boys and Girls Club of America, and most recent, and DigiGirls, which is something near and dear to my heart, so that we see more females in the business.
Yeah.
We have an alliance with Morehouse. And when President Obama came to speak at Morehouse, one of the folks that he called out was a new Microsoft scholar that's going to be taking a job at Microsoft. So we're really excited about how we are engaged in the educational community and in the nonprofit community to support technology for the future.
Well, Microsoft continues to thrive and grow. I know you have a lot of new products out there and services, and we at TAG appreciate the relationship, as I think many of our listeners do, in respect to all the good that has happened through Microsoft. So we're out of time, but Marietta, thank you so much for joining me on Tech Talk today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and we look forward to continued growth with TAG.